Hey there, I'm Lindsay Dreyer, and this is the Happy Agent Co. podcast, the real estate podcast for real estate agents and team leads who want to build a business that actually feels good. I've been in real estate for over 20 years, and I created this show because I was tired of the same old one-size-fits-all advice. Each week, I share my tips and strategies along with guest interviews that feature agents who are building a life and business they love. If you're done following outdated advice that does not fit your life and you're ready for a smarter, more human way to grow your real estate business, you're in the right place. Happy February, friends. I cannot believe that January is over. Did that feel like the longest month in the entire history of the universe? Did to me. So today we're going to dive into the 5 marketing rules that I don't follow anymore. There is so much marketing advice in real estate that sounds really good on paper, but I'm going to be real, it feels pretty awful in real life. Things like you need to be everywhere all the time. You need to post constantly. You need to make 100 calls a day. That was probably the most ridiculous one I've seen lately. You need to be tracking every single lead. You need to sound super polished. You need to push people through your pipeline. Honestly, I don't think that most agents are bad at marketing. I think they're just exhausted from trying to follow the rules that really just don't match how they feel like trust is built. I was having a conversation with a coaching client and she said, "Oh my gosh, this marketing plan just feels so easy. It's almost like cheating because it is built around things that they authentically do to build trust and relationships." They're like, wow, this is like a mindset change because this just like doesn't feel like marketing, but it can be. So I'm going to give you the rules that I stopped following because they just did not work for me. And they definitely didn't work for the life that I wanted. So let's dive in to the marketing rules I don't follow anymore and what I do instead. All right, to kick it off, rule number 1 is I don't believe that I have to be on social media to have a successful real estate business. This is a really hard one for people. And I will be honest with you, I am on social media for Happy Agent Co. and my real estate coaching business because I actually like it. For my real estate business, I am not. I'm actually not on social. So let's start with this biggest one because I think it is so prevalent and so in our face. Yes, there are agents that have gotten social media to work 100%. I am not saying that it cannot work. I just don't think that it is required for a successful real estate business. And I'll be real, it is definitely not a neutral topic. I have gotten into heated debates with a lot of people about this. Here's really the real deal on why I don't use social media for my real estate business. It rewards constant output. You also do not have control of the algorithms. You have no control over who is seeing your content. Being on social media also is creating this constant comparison about your, like in your feed. I mean, you are just seeing real estate agents who are bragging, crushing it. And honestly, it can sometimes make you feel really horrible about yourself. And the other piece is that it just requires a lot of emotional energy. It's not just time. Doom scrolling is a term for a reason. Like we get into these habits, it's addictive. And so being on social, again, it can work. But I think for so many real estate agents, it just feels like something they have to do. And it is a massive energy vampire. I don't think that social media is the best tool to be visible to everyone in your database. It can be a great add-on or bonus to your strategy. But for me, I build my top of mind plan based on postcards, based on emails, based on text messages or voice notes, and occasional pop-bys or pop-ins. So if you want to steal my 12-month calendar, I'm making it available to you. And I call it referrals on repeat. That's what we call it internally at our brokerage. And this is the intentional 12-month calendar for agents who want to stay top of mind without living online. So if you want to grab that, you absolutely can. It's at happyagent.co/ROR, which is basically acronym for referrals on repeat. So That is rule number one, that I do not believe you have to be on social media. And I have built a plan that works. We use it at my brokerage. And last year in 2025, 78% of our business came from referrals. And that was all nurtured by referrals on repeat. So steal that plan if you want to. Rule two, I do not think you have to call people. This is the millennial in me. I hate being on the phone. And this one makes people really uncomfortable, which usually means that it's very important. So cold calling feels intrusive to a lot of agents, and even calling warm contacts can feel super cringe, real awkward. So I have been coaching real estate agents since I started my brokerage 15 years ago, and I coach agents across the country now. And I will be honest, 99.9% of them feel like phone calls are intrusive and that they do not want to do them. And some of these agents don't call anyone, and they're doing like $25-30 million in volume a year. So I am here to tell you, you do not have to call people. There is that common wisdom out there. Again, there's an Instagram post the other day. It was like, you have to make 100 calls a day. And I'm like, who the frick has time to make 100 calls a day? Like, I can't even call my mom back. Like, and I'm supposed to be like sitting there just like calling people, and no, not working. So I'm here to tell you that avoiding phone calls does not make you a lazy person. It means that you just don't want to interrupt people that you care about. It means you don't want to be a pain in the ass. So here is what I believe is that people actually don't hate hearing from you. They just don't like to be inconvenienced, and they don't want to be put on the spot. I mean, most people like don't necessarily want to get a phone call from their real estate agent. I'll be honest, I had a financial advisor, and I left him a long time ago, but he would call me all the time and ask for referrals. And I just felt like it was the cringiest thing on the face of the planet. So please don't do that. I really do believe like warming up the relationship or like staying in touch in a consistent way is important. So if someone has been like hearing from you all year, either it's postcards, emails, maybe little text check-ins, and you want to have a conversation with them, like it just doesn't feel cold at that point. It feels normal, but I don't feel like a lot of agents are really like maintaining and nurturing their database in a consistent way. So this is another place where that like 12-month sphere calendar referrals on repeat can help you if you need a starting place. Because it helps you stay consistent. So then you don't have to like psych yourself up if you do want to call somebody to maybe just check in on them or invite them to an event you're hosting. Okay, moving on to rule number 3. I do not think that bragging is marketing. Yes, you need proof that you are a successful real estate agent and you actually do business. I get it. But constant bragging and flexing, it does not build trust. I am calling out just sold posts, your volume graphics, rankings, humble brags dressed up like you're grateful. Ugh, gross. Like all of them are just kind of gross. Bragging puts the emphasis on you as the agent, but we can turn these opportunities of success that you have experienced into good marketing. And how do you do that? You do that by centering the success on the client, on your sphere, on your like potential clients. Because people aren't asking like, how successful is Lindsay? They're asking like, how does Lindsay take care of me? And telling the stories of success is so important. So you can tell those in postcards, you can tell those stories in email newsletters, you can tell them on social media, but you build trust by showing people your process, showing them how you did a good job for somebody, not just by saying, just sold 123 Main Street. It just doesn't work. It's not effective. So telling those stories, thinking about flipping bragging to telling stories. Now, obviously you need to maintain confidentiality. I wouldn't be like putting addresses out there or people's names if you don't have permission. So doing it tactfully and then showing like how you overcame challenges or what you did behind the scenes. It is so important for your marketing. It is so much more effective than just bragging about your sales volume or how many deals you did in 2025. Now, I will say there was I think a market shift in what I was seeing with social media content at the end of the year. I saw a lot less sales volume and a lot more. I helped 38 people buy and sell this year, which I still think is bragging, but I think it's a little less gross than being like, I sold $30 million in real estate. So I think we're making progress as an industry, but I think you can take it even further by making it human and telling the stories about the humans behind the deals. All right, rule number 4 took me a little while to get into. It took me a little while, I'll be honest. I don't try to sound professional anymore. So this one's kind of subtle, but it does matter. And I think that as I've done more deals, I mean, gosh, like me and my team, we've done over $1 billion in sales, which is insane. And again, that's rule number 3, going to bragging, right? Sorry. Don't have time to tell you the story of all 1 billion deals. But I remember early in my career, I really felt like I had to like fake the funk. I felt like I had to wear this mask of being like hyper professional. And what I realized was actually just being myself and being a human who sounds human created better relationships with people, and it actually made my marketing more effective, because I really do feel like that polished language, and in particular ChatGPT right now, is really pumping out that like polished language that sometimes doesn't even make any sense, to be really honest with you. So trying to sound human, that is a clutch. Because I think that like clear, familiar language creates trust and safety. And I really just don't think scripts build trust. I've definitely done a few rants on that. But I just think people want to deal with people. Like they want to deal with other humans. They don't want to deal with a robot. I know there are a few agents I follow on Instagram, and I will not call them out specifically, but like they are just way too polished. Like it is so fake. You can tell that they have a social media agency that's just like kind of cookie cuttering their content. And it doesn't make it like sound like or look like or feel like a human that's behind the content. Like it just feels like it's this very polished facade. And I'm like, who is this person behind the scenes? Like, what's she like? And so I personally do not try to sound too professional anymore. It's like if people don't like me the way that I am, then they're probably not my people, and that's totally okay. That is one thing, and I didn't call it out as a specific rule, but it's like if you're repelled by me, that's probably a good thing. Like rejection is protection in my world, and it has always been the case. I feel like in the lots of years I've been doing real estate. And this is another reason why like all of my emails, all my postcards, all my text messages sound like me. Like they are not cookie cutter. They're all designed custom. They're all in-house. And I think that that's why it works so well for referral business. Like you have something that's like uniquely you. And that is a really, really important part of real estate marketing is like our vibe attracts our tribe. So if we aren't putting out what our vibe is, you are not going to attract the people that really want to work with you. So I just don't try to sound like professional anymore. I just don't try to sound like faking the funk. I'm not shiny. I'm not polished. And I'm totally okay with that because it has resulted in a lot more success. All right, rule number 5, this is the last one on marketing rules that I don't follow anymore, is I don't push people to be ready. There are a lot of people out there that want to create urgency or fake urgency. Like they're like, just create a urgency, create a reason for them to need to move quickly. And I just don't do that anymore. And I think that this is probably one of my more important revelations, and it came later in my career as commission breath disappeared. I didn't like necessarily need every single deal that came across my desk, is that I can't really force anybody to do anything, to be honest. Like you can give them information, you can kind of figure out where they're at, you can see if they need help moving to the next step in the process, but I can't sell homes on my timeline. It's always the client's decision. It's always the client's timeline. So I really do feel like our clients can feel this, hence the term commission breath, is they know that they've been moved into a pipeline instead of supported in a decision. And that is a opportunity or a moment. It's not opportunity. It is the moment when trust drops. Like people feel it and they're like, ew, gross. They aren't treating me like a human anymore. They're treating me like a lead in their pipeline. So I really don't believe that people need to be pushed. I think that they need space to decide. They need information to make decisions. And when you stay present without pressuring them, the timing takes care of itself. Like I remember I had a client who I'd worked with for like 3 years, but I didn't pressure her. I was there when she needed me. She kind of came in and out, and eventually she bought a house. Like it's not like I was working with her nonstop forever. And that's not to say you should let like energy or time vampires like run you ragged. You absolutely should not. Like you should have your boundaries. You should have the way that you work. But we don't need to be pushing people. Like you can stay present without pressure. And I really just feel like you can just let people do what they need to do on their timeline. We cannot manufacture urgency. And I do not push people to be ready anymore. All right. So these 5 marketing rules that I do not follow anymore are: I don't think you have to call people. I don't believe you have to be on social media. I do not think that bragging is marketing. I don't try to sound professional anymore, and I don't push people to be ready. So you might be like, Lindsay, what do you do? And this is what I do. The first is be consistent. So whatever you choose to do, be consistent. The next is be familiar. Like I think that people want to know me. So I'm going to be familiar. I'm not going to be flashy. I'm not going to be egotistical. The next rule I have is be helpful. So I'm going to help people wherever they are in the process. And lastly, I'm going to be a human being. I am not going to be optimized. I am absolutely never going to create an AI avatar of myself or my voice. I can promise you that this podcast will 100% always be me. And marketing shouldn't feel gross. Like it should feel like you showing up in an authentic way again and again, in a way that your people are going to recognize, in a way that your people are going to appreciate. So if you're feeling burned out on your marketing, I am curious, ask yourself, which rules are you following, maybe out of feeling obligation or feeling guilty, and which don't fit your business you want anymore? Like you don't owe Meta and Instagram a goddamn thing. You don't owe people phone calls, especially if they don't want them. And you don't owe anyone a marketing plan that burns you out. And I just think this is not necessarily about doing more. It is about doing less with intention and doing what actually works in your business. So again, if you want to steal my 12-month Sphere Marketing calendar that is called Referrals on Repeat, you can get that at happyagent.co/ROR. And until next time, stay happy. Hey there, quick favor. If you enjoyed today's episode, would you take a few seconds to leave a quick review? It would mean the world to me. I also want to thank you for tuning into this episode of the Happy Agent Co podcast. I hope you feel inspired to keep building a life and business you love. Until next time, stay